All right. Algebra 2, lesson 26, writing the equation of a line. Hopefully it should be pretty easy, mainly probably review. But linear equations are often written in slope-intercept form because that's the easiest way to sketch the graph, because it tells me where to start from. I start from the y-intercept, and then I count up or down based upon the slope and over based upon the slope, right? And then I plot that next point, so on and so forth, so long as my y-intercept is a nice, neat, whole number, right? Otherwise it gets a little bit more complicated. However, an equation is many times written in another form first, right? It doesn't always come in y equals mx plus b. Sometimes it's written as ax plus by equals c, meaning that we have a coefficient in front of the x plus or minus a coefficient in front of the y equals a constant. So where you would see 3x plus 2y equals 7, that's what we call standard form. Okay, where my x and my y are both on the left-hand side of the equation. Solving for y in the equation would give us the slope-intercept form of the equation. We would subtract 3x to the other side, right? So we'd get 2y equals negative 3x plus 7. Then we would divide both sides by 2, right? Which is going to give us negative 3 halves x plus 7 halves, or plus 3.5, right? So do we understand how to convert from the standard form of the equation to a slope-intercept? Sweet. All right, so the standard form of a linear equation exists where a, b, and c are real numbers, and a and b are both not 0. Okay? All right, so if you know the slope m is m in the equation y equals mx plus b, and the y-intercept is b in the equation of a line, then you can write the equation of a line. The slope-intercept form of a linear equation is y equals mx plus b. How many of us knew that before we came in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so everybody then. We're just kind of slow to raise our hands. But if we know the slope, right, if we know m, and so they might give us an equation of a line has a certain slope and passes through the coordinates, say 4, 5. What is the equation of the line? Well, we can use this equation where we say y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And that's the point slope form. So that's if they give me the slope and one coordinate, I can write the equation of the line. There is more than one way to do that. You don't have to, this I think is the best equation for it. The reason why I like this equation is because I can plug the x coordinate in, I can plug the y coordinate in, I can plug the slope in, and solve, and I'm going to get it in my slope-intercept form of the equation. The other way that we could do it is plug in our slope, plug in our x and y coordinate into y equals mx plus b, right? We could plug directly into that, and we would solve for b. So we'd find out b equals something, and then once I got my slope, I've got my y-intercept, I plug everything back in, right? Some people find that easier. I was talking with some students the other day that like that. They hadn't been taught that. They had struggled to remember the point slope form of the equation, and so once they knew that they could plug in their x and y into the slope-intercept, solve for b, then simplify my slope-intercept with just the slope and just the y-intercept to get the same thing. They like that. I'm not going to tell you which one to do necessarily today, but if you know the coordinates of 2 points on a line, you can use these to find the slope, or m, to solve the point slope form of the equation. Now, it's written like this because, one, I didn't have a whole lot of time, but we would also write it like this, so that we're aware, is y, y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. Okay, and that's sub number, so that's basically what we're saying. If I have x1, y1, and x2, y2 like this, okay, that's where those things would go in, and I could find the slope. Okay, and the reason that you need to understand, because a lot of people get the slope formula confused with midpoint formula, right? They'll get those things flip-flopped. What I want you to understand, or they'll put x minus x over y minus y. What you want to understand about the slope form of the equation, or just the slope formula, is the reason that y is on top is because slope is rise over run. And in my coordinate plane, okay, my y is my rise or fall, okay, my y-axis. My run is my x-axis. So it should be y over x is what my slope is. Okay, does that make sense to us? Okay. So once you have calculated m, you can substitute the value of m and one of the points into the point slope form. Then solve for y to write the equation in slope intercept form. Okay. All right, so let's take that back to the beginning here, and let's see if we can answer some questions. Okay. A line has a slope of 7. It passes through 315. We want to know the equation of the line written in slope-intercept form. So we're going to use, first we'll use our y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Okay? Okay, let's see. So this is x1, this is y1. Let's see, Allison, you've missed out on getting called on for like 2 weeks, so I'm going to pick on you here. Tell me how I take this information and plug it into that equation. I'm going to have y minus what? Y minus 15 equals, what do I plug in for m? Look into the question. 7. 7. Okay, what's next? X minus 3. Okay, now we're going to solve this like a normal equation. So what do I do first? Distribute to 7. Very good. Okay, so we have y minus 15 equals what? 7x minus 21. Okay, we got y minus 15 equals 7x minus 21. Let's keep going here. What do I do next? Add 15 to both sides. Okay, so we have y equals 7x plus. That's a negative 21. Negative 6. So y equals 7x minus 6. Now, I'm going to try a different method just in case it works for you, okay? If you struggle with this, right, just so you have something as a backup, okay? All right, so we got y equals 7x minus 6. I'm going to go ahead and circle this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, well, I know that my y is 15. I know that my slope is 7. Okay, I know that my x is 3, and the only thing I don't know is my y-intercept, right? Okay, so 15 equals 21 plus b. I'm going to subtract 21 from both sides. I'm going to get negative 6 equals b, right? So now y equals 7x minus 6. Do we understand that? Okay. Granted, I went through that really quickly. Just because I went through it quickly doesn't make it easier or faster. What I don't like about this is that I'm worried that once you get this, that you might not remember that I need to plug these things back, and those are the only things I need out of that equation, right? Are just the slope and y-intercept. Okay, but both of those are an option. Did I get the same answer on both? Okay. Okay. All right. All right. We want to know the equation of the line that passes through these 2 points. This requires an extra step. Okay. What do I have to do first, Anjali? Find the slope. So tell me how to find the slope with x1, y1, x2, y2. Okay, 1 minus negative 7. And 6 minus 2. Okay, what's 1 minus negative 7? 8. and 6 minus 2, 4, which gives me a slope of 2. Okay, so I got a slope of 2. Good. All right. I'm going to go ahead and erase this work. Hopefully you guys understand that, but we're going to get m equals 2. We'll put that off out of the way for now. Okay? Now what do I do? Diego, what do I do now that I know that the slope is 2? But I still have to write the equation of the line. Y equals 2x. Yeah, so how do I do that? How do I find b? I have two options here, right? I showed you two methods. Y minus y1, so y minus what? Y minus negative 7, okay, that's fine, equals 2 times, okay, good, x minus 2, right? Okay, and the important thing to keep in mind here is that he used the x and y from the same set. Okay, he didn't pick negative 7 from 1 and pick 6 as the x, right? Okay, so keep going here. All right, so I'm getting 2x and negative 4. What about on the left-hand side? Can I simplify that at all? Y plus 7, okay. All right, now what do you want to do? Subtract 7 from both sides. All right, so we got y equals 2x minus 11. Is that an option? It looks like it. Y equals 2x minus 11. All right, so we had to find slope. And then, did it matter which coordinate I picked? Would it change the answer? Let's check. Let's see if it would change the answer. I mean, let's do these tests now so that those questions are out of our mind later, okay? So just quickly, all right, that would be y minus 1, right, equals 2 times x minus 6. All right, so we got y minus 1 equals 2x minus 12 plus 1, y equals 2x minus 11. Did that give me the same answer? All right, so it doesn't matter, right? Because both those points exist on the same line, that both of those points are a solution to the line, so it won't change the answer. All right, how are we feeling about this so far? Pretty good? Okay. All right, number 3, we got a line that has a slope of 4, passes through 0.3, negative 2. What's the equation of the line? We know how to do this, right? Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Number 4, same thing, although it gives me a fraction this time, so I have to be careful with that. Here, this goes back to what we just did, right? We got to do y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, find my slope, plug it all back in, okay? And I think that you guys, here, let's come down to a question like this, okay? Because those are just pretty straightforward. Let's at least do one word problem, and I'll let you guys go. The cost to fill up a car gas and get a car wash is a linear function of the size of the gas tank. The cost of a fill up and a car wash for 3 customers are shown in the table. We want to write an equation for the function in slope-intercept form. Then we want to find the cost of a fill up and car wash for a customer with a truck with a 22-gallon tank. This question will show up in a test somewhere. Okay, but a lot of people miss it because it's a lot of steps, okay, and people just give up, okay. All right, so we have XY coordinate pairs in here. Do we see that? We've got an X value of 11, a Y value of 21.45, 15, 28.25, 17, 31.65. Does anybody know what our first step ought to be given those 3 sets of coordinate pairs? Angeli? find the slope, okay? Do I need all three of them to find the slope? Okay, I just need how many? Two. Does it matter which two? No, because all three of these coordinates are on the line. Okay? Which two coordinates do you want to use? First two. Okay? So we're looking at it like this. Okay? All right. Danielle, tell me how you would set this up to find the slope. Y1 minus Y2 over X1 minus X2. Okay, sure. Okay, 21.45. Okay. 11 minus 15. Okay, very good. Perfect. All right. What is 21.45 minus 28.25? Okay. We got somebody saying negative 6.75. See if you can confirm that for me, Danielle. Negative 6.8. Negative 6.8. Okay. And 11 minus 14? Negative 4. And can I simplify that at all and get just a decimal value for that? Is it 1.7? Okay, 1.70 is my slope. Okay, so we've got that, and we've showed our work for it. And so this question shows up on a test, right? I expect you to be able to do what we've done, okay? Because I've showed you how to do it. Can I erase this? Yes? No? Got it? Okay. So we're going to erase that. We've got our slope. Okay? All right. Allison, what happens next now that we've got our slope? Oh, that our slope is our rise over run. The y-intercept. Okay, we want to find our y-intercept. How would you go about doing that? Okay, so tell me what to write then. Okay, so 21.45. Okay. Okay. Plus b. So you're solving it the slope-intercept form way. That's fine. So we got 21.45. What's 1.7 times 11? 18.7. Okay, plus b. What do we do next? Okay, subtract 18.7 from both sides, she says. Okay, 21.45 minus 18.7. 2.75 equals b. So what is the slope-intercept form of my equation? What am I going to write? I'm going to write y equals what?
1.70x plus 2.75.
Okay, very good. Y equals 1.7x plus 2.75. Now, although we could eliminate all other answers except one, we're not really done yet, right? Because I want to show my work on how much it's going to cost if a truck comes in with a 22-gallon tank. Where am I going to put that 22 at? I'm going to plug it in for x. Okay, so y equals 1.7 times 22 plus 2.75. What am I getting there? $40.15. Okay, and that shows me that I did everything right. Right. Now, could we have used y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1 instead of y equals mx plus b? Yes, but we still would have gotten y equals 1.7x plus 2.75. All right, do we feel pretty good about these now? Biggest deal to get from this is those couple of equations. You're using two coordinates to find slope, and then using slope and one coordinate to find the equation of the line. All right. If we feel like we're in pretty good shape, then what I'll do is we'll end right there. I think we've done most types. And then question number, I want to say number 10, is really, really similar to the one that we just did. Okay? All right, so let me give you guys time to work.